think this will work. I think I'll probably get blocked, but I will make an attempt to make this video because this is almost, it's not quite like we didn't start the fire because all of those events mentioned there are effects, but this is kind of more coming from like the spiritual, I guess, point of view. Maybe the spiritual battle or what, you know, the kind of things we're experiencing now. I'll definitely let like the first verse play, maybe the second verse too, and maybe we could look at the lyrics, you know, quickly after that. I have the name of the song and the group up here. Lady Venom, name of the song. It's from like 2001, 2002, that kind of era. Canadian rap group. So anyways, let's just have a listen and I will, you know, let's just see how it goes. We'll see. I'm hoping this is like so old it doesn't get blocked, but...
There ain't no way else to go. Prevail knows the faculties of poison lay you vertical. It's only murder, bro. Every small animal committed. The only difference is I won't admit I did it. There's a limit as to how far my posse's willing to bend. The dawn of a burgundy autumn blinds the minds of most men. Vomiting from the quarantine, praying for the end. You can tell by the stench that the venom's setting in. On the plane in which you reign, it's classified as do or die. But in the realm in which we dwell, it's function X and multiply. Imagine the madness. The return of the Jew from Nazareth. The hunter and the hunter, the colonizing savages. The only challenge is that they bring enough dirt to bury us. Be aware, I hunt with the god of the cerebrum. Where we're going, don't stress. There'll be plenty of time to rest. Close the curtains, break the sternum. This is just a contest.
So there's a hell of a lot going on in there. So this entity here, in my opinion, this girl that's dancing is like the same girl, the same kind of Callie figure that's dancing in the My Pet Goat 2 video. But not only that, a completely different music video from a couple of years later, and I believe it is coincidental. The outfit is almost exactly the same. So you see this kind of, I'm not sure if it shows it really well, this kind of outfit she's got, it's like a red and black kind of bikini thing. That is the same outfit that I saw on a different actress, but playing like the part of the same entity in Avenged Sevenfold's song Beast and the Harlot from City of Evil. And if you go look at that music video, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that is the same entity popping up again. And I bet this is, I don't think anyone copied each other. I think this is just some weird reality stuff going on. That's without getting into even the lyrics of, ever heard of Vertigo? Well, there ain't nowhere else to go. I noticed around the kind of 2012 era, like when a lot of like dubstep and stuff was like popping off in mainstream, all that kind of stuff, that the kind of wild, not just the dubstep mixes, but like there was a lot of things that seemed to be like pushing consciousness itself further up into the, like physically, like trying to push it away from the heart and up into the brainstem, like up into the mind, out of the top of the head. I mean, just personally, this is something that I experience with like dreams. Gosh, there's that Robbie Williams song. I don't have it on the, I forget what it's called, but in the music video, he's like walking up these like endless stairs. It's kind of like you're going up and up and up the dimensions. So for me, that hit personally, and probably for a lot of people, like that first line won't mean too much. And then it's like, oh, I believe there's a comments thing here. We'll see if we can get the comments on the screen instead of me like switching to a different window. Those captions? It doesn't seem to be working, even though it's there. Okay, that's fine.
Ever heard of vertigo? There ain't no way else to go. Prevail knows the faculties of poison lay you vertical.
It gets into your faculties, the poison lays you vertical. It's only murder, bro. Every small animal commit. The only difference is I won't admit I did it. I'm doing this from memory, so if I get some of the words wrong, like, I don't know the song that well. That you can interpret as you will.
They murder, bro, every small animal committed. The only difference is I won't admit I did it.
It could be about the kind of spiritual Saturn cosmic competition. Like, I saw Space Jam again for the first time since 97 or whatever it was, and I happened to see this music video the same day, so I made a connection in my mind where he's like, close the curtains, brace your sternum, this is just a contest, and how he's talking about how in the realm in which you live, it's classified as do or die, but in the plane in which we live, it's puncture necks and multiply. There's a lot of, like, talking about the snake, things like that. I'm like, oh, I've been hearing a hell of a lot going on with that in this reality. I mean, if you know, you know. There's certain rallies that happened a few years ago where a poem was read, which was, you knew damn well I was a snake before you let me in. And then there was that whole silly thing going on where they were talking about snake venom being everywhere, snake venom being in the water. Now, for some of you, if that's not silly to you, I'm not putting any judgment on you. I'm just saying that didn't resonate with me. Like, that, oh my gosh, there's literally snake venom in the water. I was like, this is some kind of spiritual messaging, some kind of weird, off-the-wall, attention-grabbing thing that the reality itself is doing. So I just thought it was, I don't know, maybe like spiritual symbolism or some issue there. Let's have a listen.
Limit as to how far my posse's willing to bend. The dawn of a burgundy autumn blinds the minds of most men.
That's the dawn of the golden age. The dawn of the burgundy autumn blinds the minds of most men. So that's people going into like a sleep state or a hypnosis, or like they're, you know, they're just not there. The lights are on, but no one's home in some regards. So that's some spiritual wildness going on there. You know, it's more observational, and it is topic sensitive, honestly. There's a lot of topics you can talk about people and they're fine, and then there's some topics you can see they're like, it's like their mind or their consciousness literally dips out when you're talking. It's a weird spiritual thing, or it's a weird consciousness thing. But you're all, you know, well aware of that.
Vomiting from the quarantine, praying for the end.
I think I don't have to say anything about that.
Tell by the stench that the venom's sitting in. On the plane in which you reign, it's classified as do or die, but in the realm in which we dwell, it's puncture necks and multiplier.
So I'm just like, okay. So the connection I made, obviously, there with Space Jam, whether that's a real connection or not, or whether it's just a coincidence or happenstance or what have you, it even comes up as two. See how the screen has split right as he's saying that? Like maybe the test or the spiritual battle or whatever, you know, for you it's do or die, it's fairly desperate. For them, it's puncture necks and multiply. It's like make more people be in their consciousness bandwidth, like on the negative side. What was it? The only trouble is that they bring enough dirt to bury us, something like that, where it basically is saying that the good side of the force, for lack of any more eloquent phrasing, is more powerful than the stuff he's going on with, but he's hunting with the god of the Cerebus. Like, he's got some entities in his corner, he's got some things going on as well, so it is a pretty wild, brutal spiritual fight.
In the madness, the return of the Jew from Nazareth, the hunter and the hunter, the colonizing the savages. The only challenge is that they bring enough dirt to bury us. Be aware, I hunt with the god of the Cerebus. Where we're going, don't stress, there'll be plenty of time to rest. Close the curtains, brace your sternum, this is just a contest.
And to me, like, the lights on the walls, at some points they like look like zeros, and at some points they look like eights, like figure eights. Like, I think that kind of looked like a figure eight. I'm not even worrying about, like, the spiritual symbolism of, like, you know, these kind of things that are coming up. Like, you can see her dancing, and then there's, like, the scorpion symbolism, which is, like, the poisoning, the whole thing that was mentioned there in the first verse. But I feel like the kind of, the group, the flash dancing, group dancing, TikTok dancing, the Venom setting in, the obsession with um, like I don't even want to mention it, but basically the obsession with like bathrooms and toilets and poo and stuff. Like I think that is all part of one particular spiritual entity or spiritual package. It's like one particular force, and it keeps using those symbols over and over and over to make its like presence known in this place. But like I don't know, I'm just like kind of still weirded out about that even after all these years. I saw this like Kohler ad where it's like the megalith from 2001 Space Odyssey, but you know, and you think it's going to be like some cool computer or something, and it's like this Kohler toilet in the middle of a highway. And it's like, this is the craziest commercial. What the hell is going on? And I'm like, it has to be just spiritual symbolism, because this doesn't make any sense. If you're marketing bathroom stuff, you don't put it in the middle of a highway like it's an amazing sports car or like a high tech piece of technology. Like, I don't know, just weirdness.
I've already felt it. That child tasting her tongue as heart melts with the second chance. For this demon that she dealt with, few and far between. From Beauty and the Beast to a perfect combination. Once this passion is unleashed, golden angel, precious princess, and this is more than just love. If not now, then one love. We'll have our chance to dance on the moon now.
One love, and we're all one, and you know, all together. That's all. As you saw earlier in the song, it's actually, there's two sides, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Maybe you could say, oh, the root of consciousness is one thing. I don't know. I think there's plenty of entities that are so different from you that to say that everything is one is just, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'll leave that one open to everyone's personal interpretation, but
Trance of this goddess, vicious vibrations.
that's probably one of the most important things he says in his verse. What was it? The strength of this goddess, or something to do with, anyways, her. The influence that this female Kali dancing type of entity has over our reality. The vicious vibrations. It's like that's the jamming signal in the observe. What's it called? The observation experiment, like the quantum observation experiment. It's been so long since I've talked about that. It's the experiment where they pass light particles through these narrow cutouts in a board, and depending on whether you're watching it or not, they behave either as particles or as wavelengths. Basically, the memory gate, the turning your perceptions on its head, the confusing you spiritually. Like, I think that all of that is just being boiled down to the words vicious vibrations. That it's coming from this particular spiritual source. He's like shaking his head like he's all dizzy when he says that. I think that that's very, short but relevant.
Now feel the trance of this goddess.
Feel the trance of this goddess. Vicious vibrations. I mean, shaking his head there. Yeah, it's about the hypnosis, the confusion, the weird, almost dreamlike aspect of the reality getting stranger in its spiritual messaging, like all this kind of confusion stuff. And he gets in more into that by saying nightmares have been implanted that you shouldn't try and grasp, or something along those lines. Where that's, to me anyway, is like, oh yeah, there's all kinds of things going on in the background that you're not supposed to notice. Like how, if you're not a fully lucid dreamer, you don't really notice the small details in your dreams. It's kind of like more kind of vague. Whereas if you are a lucid dreamer, like you'll see like, all kinds of strange things that maybe don't belong, or you'll see like people that don't belong in your dreams, or you'll be able to read things or read numbers, but it's very difficult to be grounded enough to take that memory back into the waking world, or at least sometimes I have that issue. Like if I see money in my dreams, that's like totally different from anything I've experienced here. I'll try to remember the patterns and the denomination and everything, but I find it difficult, even though I can lucidly see it, to grasp it. And I feel like maybe he's talking about that aspect of consciousness, how it plays in the awake world, how maybe we are like observing and interacting with our subconscious perception as well as our conscious perception during our waking hours, but we're so overly focused on our conscious perception that we don't pay enough attention to the weird stuff that is going on around us, but we're not like fully tuned into it because we're in the vicious vibrations. Like he's shaking his head so hard his face has disappeared there. Also, it's on, you know, I don't know, 140 pixels, recorded by a potato in 2001, so, you know, that's part of it too.
We'll have our chance to dance on the moon. Now feel the trance of this goddess. Vicious vibrations, lap dances, venomous serpents of temptation. Awkward balance, scars on my back from her talons. An evil evening, drinking blood by the gallon. Drench, venting tension, adrenaline rush. Pain stains the carpet when you run into us. An effortless task, cold hearts and iron mask. Nightmares have been implanted that you shouldn't try and grasp.
There it is, the nightmares have been implanted that you shouldn't try and grasp. And I don't even know what's on the rest of the video, because I was so, like, kind of just taken by those two verses. I was like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff in here, I gotta try and make a video about this. And he did mention about, we'll get our chance to dance on the moon. Some people believe that the moon, or the signals of the moon, have something to do with this whole mess we're perceiving here. It could be. Certainly the magnetism of the moon is said to affect consciousness, and the tides of the ocean, and all kinds of things. Or it could be talking about, like, the reincarnation cycle, or signals, or who knows. It's very open-ended. It's very, very crazy stuff.
There's one of them amongst us. Come on, you can trust us. We're the league that serves the justice. We're the confident ones. Come run amongst us and conquer someone. Some come to seek honor. Some seek to wreak havoc. Either you do or don't have it. If we speak, it's trap. When the sun rises, are you surprised that I'm a beast? Leatherface withers, cracks and starts to crease. Feel your heart rate decrease. The unveiling of the vein. White widow, crystal palace, champagne will cross you. And down here it's the strangest thing. Flaming skies start to fall. My thoughts are life for cause of death. My breath swing a wrecking ball. This is your beckoning call. While we're checking you all praise the circuit breaker that circulates through your walls and appalls all who call. I brawl maul and maim. We bless and destroy with strength still out of range.
The thing that gets me the most there is whatever he was saying about bless the circuit breaker that circulates through your walls. Like, that's I feel very much to do with the kind of things I've been talking about. Not just the loosh system, or like how your subconscious and could be outside of the perimeter of your walls while your conscious perception is inside of it. Like, there's all kinds of ways you could interpret that, but I just, like, that resonates with me as something interesting. Some strange, weird mystery there.
Maul and maim. We bless and destroy with strength still out of range.
Where's it?
Cause of life or cause of death, my breath swing a wrecking ball. This is your beckoning call. While we're checking you all